Good afternoon. Good afternoon. We're back for another afternoon stream where we are gonna work on a model context protocol server. I know. Sounds pretty baller. Oh man, Network Bib is here. Damn. Network Bib, are you just sitting there like on my channel, just like refreshing the page? you're like the first one in. Suos, hi, what's up, Suos? Network Bib, got to go to sleep in a minute, by the way. Yeah, man, get your sleep, dude. Sleep's important. Sleep is definitely the number one thing you can do for your well-being. That and manage your weight. Manage your weight, get your sleep, manage your weight. Suhas, how are you doing? Good to see you. You're always quick on the draw too, Suhas. Curious how you guys... I haven't even posted in the Discord yet. I'm curious how you guys get here so fast. Let's see. Let's open my Network Bib. Bye. I just wanted to say hello. I appreciate that, Network Bib. That's very kind of you to stay up late and say hi. Appreciate it. Suhas, 1:08 a.m. Oh man, Suhas, you're kind of a night owl, aren't you? The other day you were talking about staying up till like 3 in the morning, weren't you? I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, you know? If that's where you're most productive. I'm gonna eat an orange real quick. Also, I'm gonna turn my music down a little bit. I love oranges. Love them. Well, I guess these aren't really oranges. These are, here in the States, we call them like cuties. They're like little tangerines. Super easy to peel. They're delicious. You woke up at 4 p.m.? You're like on a night shift schedule, bro. That's rough, man. I couldn't do night shift. No disturbance? What do you mean? Oh, there's my dog. I have no idea what he's doing. He's not supposed to be up there. Hey, Opie. Hey, get down from there. He doesn't give a shit what I say. Opie, get down from there. My kids want another dog really bad. They want a corgi. And I want a break from a dog. Oh, I see what you mean, Suas. You like to work late. You like to be up later in the evening because no one's around to bother you. Yeah. I used to... Before I had kids, I used to wake up super early for that reason. Was because no one was there to bother me. You like my dog? You think my dog's cute? Yeah. He's cute until you don't listen to you. And then it's just frustrating. My wife still thinks he's cute though, even when he's not listening. So last time y'all were here, last time I was here, we were working on this MCP server, and specifically we were working on this get records tool, and I was having issues getting it to work. The request kept timing out, and I figured out that the request kept timing out because I was trying to pull back 32,000 records which at 100 records per page was like 300 requests that I was trying to do in this loop, um, which isn't really feasible. So what I decided to do to make this tool, I don't know how useful this tool is going to be, honestly, to just get a bunch of records. But what I decided to do was to have this optional query param that has a default of just a single page. And then I'm going to return an object that has my records and it has the total number of pages. So I need to modify this. I need to modify this to be JSON.stringify. And then this is going to be an object. And then this object is going to have records. And then total pages. My brain just went into full auto mode. I can't sleep. Oh no. Well, network bib. I don't think the right answer is to stay up past your bedtime. What I do when I can't sleep, so here's my hack. When I can't sleep, I have like 5 movies that I've seen like 100 times. So like they're not very stimulating. I turn the volume all the way down and turn the subtitles on. So it's basically like it forces me to just stare at the screen and kind of read. And that usually lulls me to sleep. And some of my go-to movies are they all have to do with financial crashes. They all have to do with like the 2008 financial crisis here in the United States. So it's either Margin Call. There's a movie on HBO Max called Too Big to Fail. There's a documentary called Hank. There's a drama movie called The Big Short. But like those 4, there's a 5th one, I can't think of it, but like 4 or 5 movies that I'll just put on and do that. Network bib. When I go to sleep, my problem solving goes into ultra power mode. Yeah, I mean that's the benefit. Like sleep, like right. That's like some of your best ideas come right after getting good sleep or taking a shower. Basically, anytime you do something that like offloads the work to your subconscious. Yeah. So maybe you should try to focus on going to sleep, network bib. Maybe you'll have some more breakthroughs. Victor, what's up? Hello, Victor. How are you? How you been, man? Victor, cute dog show in camera. Yeah, you can kind of see his butt. I have these windows open back here. Actually, I probably should close these windows because they're kind of blowing out the background. I'm going to at least close this one. But the windows are open, and so he likes to sit up on the couch because he can see outside. Me be watching Dictator with YR method. Thinking about how to make exoskeleton. Oh man, that sounds like a very complex problem. Probably worth a few nights of sleeping to solve. You can stay there, but I'm going to close this. There we go. That's a little better. Although now my dog's pissed off. I think Network Bib's building robots or something. All right, so this works for now. So basically the idea is whenever somebody uses this tool, the LLM can like ask them how many number of pages they want, or if they don't provide one, it'll just default to 1. But then the LLM should be able to see how many pages there are, and so theoretically the user could be able to specify like I want to get page 1. Well, no, because this is just numbers. So theoretically they should be able to specify what page they want to get to, huh? So maybe I need to add another parameter here. Page number. We'll just set that to 1. set this to page number. So then theoretically they can specify what page they want to get and the number of pages. Although I don't think this tool is going to be very helpful, because this literally is just going to collect all the records from an app, which doesn't make a lot of sense, I think, in a lot of cases. So let me go to my server, and I need to update this to say, page number. It's optional, and then we'll drop that in here. Oh, gotta drop it in up here. I probably should, instead of destructuring these arguments, I should probably just call this args and then pass it as one. But we've already started down this road. Yeah, actually that's what I'm gonna do, because I actually kind of hate that. We're gonna go args. But then that makes doing the default. I'm not gonna screw around with refactoring that right now. Okay, so the other thing I want to do is, let's see, let me go ahead and test this. npm run inspect. Okay, so the other thing I want to do is I want to add a little bit of so like if I do get records and I say users and I say page number, we're just gonna leave these default. I'm just gonna get a single page, or actually there's only a single page anyways, and then I'm gonna get the username field and we run this. Page number must be greater than 0. What the heck? I thought I set a default. Page number. There we go. Okay, so what I want to show here is basically this response isn't very meaningful to the LLM. There's a lot of repetition here too, right? Like each record has an app ID, it has a record ID, and then it has field data. And then each of these field data, it just doesn't, it's not useful. So I think what I want to return back is actually I want to return something that's like, for each record, I want to return something that looks more like this, where it's like field name and then the field value. So we need to modify our method a little bit here. I wonder, can I set in the server, can I set defaults here? I think you can, right? I can say defaults. Yeah, one. Yeah, which means I can go in here and I can actually remove the defaults in here. Oh, there's still number. And then, so I need to modify my method in here to get the, so basically when I get the fields back, when I get the records, I need to replace the structure of that record. I need to map over it and change the structure of it. But in order to do that, I need to know which field IDs line up with which field names. So instead of this returning, instead of this just returning an array of instead of this returning an array of IDs, I think I'm going to have this return a dictionary or an object that has the ID as a key and the name as a... So this is going to be... this is going to be a record, an array of records, where we have a number, we have a string. Oh shoot, that's because I have a type that's fine. I'll just do ID number and a string. Whoops, those are backwards. Network Bib, I can't sleep if you don't react. Ah, Network Bib, I am not your lullaby, bro. Suas, I'm very interested. I want to solve that problem. Network Bib, aren't you like a teenager? Because sometimes your comments come across very teenagery, like me. my. Okay. So then, instead of this being called field IDs, we should probably rename this to just fields, or found fields is 14. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Yeah, that's kind of how sometimes the comments come across. Which, I mean, there's nothing wrong with being young. Is GW? I think so. Yeah, in our Discord. That's what Victor's talking about. Is our Discord names? Yeah. Some people have different Discord names than they have on YouTube. Which Stefan, if you guys are familiar with Stefan, from the chat on other streams, he actually was like, you should. He told me like you should enforce that people make their Discord names the same as their YouTube names, but that felt a little harsh. So I was like, nah, I'm not gonna do that. F. He didn't react to my other comment. Yeah, the dog is back up on the couch, yeah. Yeah. That's what he does, man. You just, I mean, when dogs get, he's over 10 years old. When dogs get to a certain age, you just kind of, you let them be, you know? Just, you let them be. Alright, so now what we'll do is here, yeah, we can say fields. Just get the IDs there. Now, when we return our records, this is actually not going to be an array of records. This is, well, it is, but it's going to be an array of, we probably want to create a type for this, because this is going to be a little complex. So let's say, we'll just declare the type here for the moment. So we'll say type get record, or no, let's say, I don't know. I'll just call it Steven's record for now. So I can come up with a better name. I don't know what the good. It's a record, but I don't know what the right way to describe it is. It's gonna have a app ID. It's gonna have a record. Actually, I think the app ID is a little redundant in my opinion. Maybe we do app ID, then we do records. Yeah, let's call this get records tool response, and then we'll call this we'll call this type Steven record. And then in here we're gonna have a record ID, and then we're gonna have data, and data is going to be an object that basically has, yeah, key, can be a number, yes, it can be that. And then this is going to be an array of Steven record. Here, actually, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to call this Onyx record. That's what I call it. And so therefore this is going to be my response. And this is going to be get records tool. Get records tool response. Oops. It should be here. Get records tool response. Victor, bye. See you, Victor. Have a good night. See you, network bib. Victor, I'm gonna need some details, or I'm gonna have to give him some. His name's Opie. He's a guy, and he's a dachshund. Lord of 9 stars. What are you making? I'm working on a model context protocol server. Is what I'm working on at the moment. If you're not familiar with that, I'm happy to elaborate further, but I know you guys might already be familiar with it. So we're gonna say here, we're gonna say get records tool response dot records dot push. Oh, this actually is just, I think, response, isn't it? This is very ugly at the moment, but I'm just rolling with it until I get it. Yeah, records.push, and then this is going to be records response data records.map. And then we're going to map over these, and we're going to create the modified version. Oh, this isn't record. This is items. Change that to I. And we need to do... we need to get the record ID, and then we need to construct the data. So, so each item is a record. Let's see. Let's say const. Yeah, record, Onyx record, and we'll say so that, yep, we'll initialize like that. Well, if record ID is null, there's something wrong here. So if I.record ID is null, we just return. We don't even care about it, because if it doesn't have a record ID, something is really, really wrong. Then we're gonna return record. This is kind of, I feel like this is confusing, what I'm reading right now, what I'm writing. So I'm actually going to do this a little bit different. I'm going to say Onyx records is going to be Onyx records array. That's just going to be an empty array. And then I'm going to iterate here. I'm just going to say for const item of this, which is basically, I'm doing the same thing I was doing here, but I think it's a little easier to read this way. Or at least it's a little easier to think through at the moment. Response.records.push Onyx records. I think I have to spread these. There you go. Alright, so first and foremost, if the item.record ID is null, we don't care about it, because something's wrong there. That should really never be the case. Yes. Then I know this is going to look ugly because we're going to have nested loops, but there's not any way to get around this. We're going to say for field value of item.field data. This could also probably be extracted into a separate method. Make it a little cleaner, a little less messy. It's actually one of the things. This is actually one of the things I like about streaming while I code is it actually kind of forces me to talk out loud, like to think out loud, which I think is actually a pretty helpful activity. Sorry, I got a couple messages there. Okay, now this is where I need to. This actually should be relatively nice. I should be able to say record dot data, and I should be able to say not field value ID. I want the name. So then what I can do here is I can say const field name equals not field IDs. I want to rename this. It shouldn't be field IDs. This should be requested fields. I can say requested fields dot find. Yep. And then I actually don't like that. I actually don't like looking through this array because so I'm actually going to, this should be cleaner. Let's see. Get, I'm going to call this get fields by, get fields by name. And instead of doing an array here, I'm actually gonna do a dictionary. So I'm gonna say this is going to have how do I do this? This is gonna have an index that is a number, and then a string value. And it's not an array. And so instead of pushing, we are gonna say that. Which then lets me do, instead of doing what I was doing a second ago, I can do object.keys. Why is that happy? Why is that not happy? It's not argument of type string array is not assignable to a parameter of type number. Are you serious? I have to map over these? I'm not doing that. That's fine. That's fine. It's whatever. It's whatever. It's whatever. It's whatever. So who's complaining here? Oh, because it's gonna. Okay, never mind. So since these are numbers, but it's gonna treat them, so I need to parse them back to numbers. That's fine. That's really stupid, but that's fine. I can't I can't really pronounce your first name all that well. I'm writing a model context protocol server is what I'm writing right now. Then down here, instead of doing all this fuckery, I can just do that. And then I can say record dot data, and then I can key the field name and the field value, which is that's what I was trying to get at the whole time. And then we can also say response dot total pages, and we'll just set that to the total pages on each iteration. Delete this. Turn that. Okay, so I think this is going to make a much nicer response for the LLM. This is what the response was looking like. It's kind of messy, not very helpful in my opinion. And this is what we're trying to get to, something like this. All right, so let's restart our inspector. Which, if any of you guys are out there building MCP stuff, the inspector that they have for doing this is very helpful. It's just a node package you can run with npx. Starts a little server like this guy. It's very helpful. Okay, let's get the users. Get the user name of each user. And run the tool. Success. Okay, we have no records. Which is not right. We should have some records. So let's see. Where did I go wrong here? So we get the records. Here's my response. We initialize the response to an empty array. Get the records response. Oh. We need to actually add this. So we need to say Onyx records dot push. And this is all messy. We should really, this should probably be a separate method. The whole iteration here should be a separate method. So let's test this one more time, and then we'll clean up that stuff. Suas, after playing this video game, I will work model context. What video game are you playing, man? What is your video game of choice this evening? Steven, hold me accountable. Yeah, I'll ask you. I'll say, hey, Suas, how's your model context protocol server coming along? I can hold you accountable. I mean, not so much as accountability as just so much as, you know, I'd like to see whatever you build. There we go. Okay, so this is what I was after. So I think this is a little bit better response. So here's what we are working with. Let's actually just clean this up to a single. Oh goodness. To a single item. It's a little easier to see. Okay, so that's just the raw response of the API. And this is what I put it into. So now the LLM should be able to see these are all the records for app 2. This record is record 31. And then the data, which is just username and then the value. And like see, we can add another, let's add another field in here. Let's add status. There you go. And then we're also including the total number of pages. So that way, if there is more than one page, well, if there's a lot of we're only going to fetch one page at a time. And if there's a lot of pages, then they can specify how many pages they want to get. There's active, inactive. Yeah, this is exactly what I was looking for. Okay, cool dealio. Now we just need to write some tests for this and refactor this a little bit. I'm Matt. Hey guys, what's up? I'm Matt. How are you? Nothing much is going on, man. Just living the dream, you know. Taking lunch, talking to you guys, working on this MCP server I started. Suas, will you make tutorial for my? Yeah, I did actually, Suas. That's actually the next video I think I want to make is just a very brief. Here's how I set up a project for the MCP, and kind of here's where you start. And I know there's and that's not to say there aren't great resources out there already. Like I saw Matt Pocock made a tutorial, and he's 10 times the creator I am. And then model context protocol, the website has really good client and server tutorials too. But maybe some people would like to hear my opinion on how I set things up. But yeah, if you don't want to wait on me to make a tutorial, the tutorials here on their website are really good, and they have docs for each of the SDKs. So. And they have some examples you can look at too. The file system one's pretty good. And a lot of people's are very simple. Like this is just a single file, single index.ts file. One big long file. So I'm probably overcomplicating it a little bit, but I think it's interesting people are running this stuff in a Docker container. I think that's how the GitHub one works too. Yeah, I'll make one of those. If anything, I'll make it just for my own, to challenge my own learnings and my own understanding. I feel like that's part of the fun of making stuff is like you kind of, when you make videos or you write blog posts, it's sort of like you're having to teach other people. And so then that reinforces like what you know or don't know, or what you've learned or what you don't know yet or need to go back and relearn. 45 minutes, man. These streams go by quick. Just the hours just slip by. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move this whole iteration loop into its own method. Because there's going to be other times where I need to loop through records. So I'm going to move this into its own thing. And I have those in the utils folder right now. This is probably not where this is going to end up staying forever, but get records. I don't know what parameters I need. I'm just going to paste that in. I could also, it's interesting because all of these functions actually, get apps, get fields, get records, all of these could actually be abstracted to one more method away. Like I could actually have a method probably that's called like get page. Maybe I should do that. It's one more level of indirection. It's one more level of abstraction, but it's kind of nice. So like I could have, what I'm trying to say is I could actually have a function here called, and actually it doesn't have to be exported. It could just be a private function to the module, and we could call it get page. And the only thing it needs is it needs an on-spring client, and it needs a paging request. On-spring client, and it needs a paging request like this. Actually, it doesn't need a client, it needs a delegate. Or it needs to take in a function. So it needs to have a function. Yeah, actually, yeah, I could actually just do this all within a function. So I could say callback. Let's call it a callback. And it doesn't need a number, I think, at this time. I think it just needs to be, it needs to just have no parameters, but it needs to return a promise, and that promise needs to be a page response. Of t, and then this needs to be of t. Let's see, and then here, oh, this is going to be a generator too. Call this a generator. Where does that go? That goes on the function declaration. This is okay. This is actually completely distracting from the actual work. This is where you start. I don't actually need this function, but I see like, oh, this could be really nice to have this. So basically, I just need to do this same thing. I just need to do it in an abstract way. So instead of having this be hard coded, this needs to be the callback. This needs to be await callback. And this is, yeah, this needs, so this is going to be a request of type paging request, like that. This should be something that lives in the SDK that I'm using. So this should not be, this needs to be a promise of API response, page response T. This is where generics get confusing. So instead of apps response, let's rename this and let's call this just response. Okay, and then the way we would use this, let's see, the way we would use this is we would say, we would say something like for await const app of get page, and then we'd want to bind that to the generic here is going to be app, and then we're going to pass in our callback. And so our const callback would be I think it makes sense here to have the caller provide the paging. But I'm having them pass in a page number here. So yeah, I think the caller should probably provide the paging request. Now I'm getting too hung up on this because I want it to be abstract and reusable, but I also don't want it to be overly Okay, I'm gonna do this a little bit different. So the callback is not gonna have a parameter. It's just gonna be responsible for returning the page response. No, it has to be in there. Because this little inner loop needs to increment it. Yeah, so this needs to be like a wrapper passing the paging request. Callback. Oh, it needs to be imported. Then yield that. That's not gonna work though, because I need to capture. Yeah. Hunter, what's up, man? I was trying to. I'm gonna come back to this because this is to do. Finish implementing this. Let's see. The callback needs to accept a paging request so that this function can mutate and pass it in on each iteration. All right, and we'll just go back to the way this was, because this yeah, do that should work. All right, so this is the original reason we were in this file, was to abstract this. So get records has a page number. No, it needs a client. It basically needs everything that's in that other method. So we need to know our app ID, which is a number. I actually think I'm getting towards the end of the Desi Gamer. Hey, what's up, Desi Gamer? First time I've seen you in the chat, man. Thanks for stopping in and saying hi. How you been, Hunter? It's been a minute since I've seen you in the chat, man. Doing well? Let's see. Data format just needs to be imported. Requested fields needs to be passed in. Field IDs. And what else? App name. I guess we could change this to app ID. And then we could change this to with fields. We could say field IDs, and this actually up here can become field IDs too. That's the type from the other file. Crap. Hold on. We need to undo this. This is going to be see page number. Page. And number of pages. we'll move that. We're gonna move all this stuff around at the end of the day, but for now, let's hit utils. Now we just need to import this guy. And then response. I think this should be response. Oh, no, that's records response. Oh, should that should be here too, huh? Sorry, I'm thinking hard here for a minute. So this actually should be in that other method. Should it though? I don't think it should. That's good, man. Been working out at all? Well, I guess you say you've been working a lot, not working out. What have you been doing at work? Anything productive? Yeah, I also think that what this means is that all of this right here, so this, I shouldn't need to export this type. This method should just be yielding me records. That's all it should be doing. Shouldn't be doing this, or no, it should be doing that. It shouldn't be doing this. It should just be saying, here are the records we retrieved from you. Shouldn't be doing this. Field IDs. So I had this right at the beginning. So this should be numbers. This should be numbers. It should be getting the records, and all it should be doing is it should just be yielding field IDs. Oops. Just yield records response.data.items. It's like that. Page number of pages, and we need to go back to server, or no, back to tools, and we need to basically undo all this. Yeah. So we still need this here, but what we need to do is, instead of doing all this down here, we're just going to be able now to say for await const record of get records, which is our helper. We can say client let's see, client app ID field IDs. Okay, let's say const field IDs. Well, that's weird. There we go. Okay, then here we say app ID field IDs page number of pages. That's a little long of a line for me, but that'll do. Like this. Okay. And now what we can do is we can basically do all the same logic that we were doing right here. Well, crap. Well, we can't get the total pages this way. Or we can, we just have to change what we're returning. Yeah, we just have to change what we're returning. So all of this, we'll just move it here. And we can actually take away this for loop. And so now this will be called record. Call this Onyx record. This can be called record, like that. There's too many records. And this is what we're going to have to change. So this is going to have to be something different. To remove this, we can delete this whole while loop. And we'll just delete that. See you, Stefan. Oh no, did you leave, Stefan, or who left? Have to go walk. Stefan caught the live again. Oh, nice, Stefan. Not for long. Have to go walk my dog. Oh, yeah, see you, man. Have a good night's sleep. Nikki, I'm sick. Oh, that's too bad, man. I'm sorry to hear that. Munir. Hi, sir. Hello, Munir. Hello, sir. I'm not a cop. I swear I'm not a cop. What am I doing? I'm building a model context protocol server. Broker. Hi. Hello, broker. Oh. It's literally an hour. Well, broker, you got here a little late, but I do these streams over my lunch, which is an hour long, and I have reached my hour. Let's see. So let's say we need to add a to do here. I would have gotten this completely buttoned up if I hadn't got distracted with that stupid generic, trying to make that method, that reusable generic method. Let's see. Need to return the total number of pages. Yeah, I need to do that here. Let's give this a test really quick though, just to make sure I didn't break anything too bad. Although I don't know if this will run with the state of that utils folder or that utils module. Will this run? Oh yeah, it'll run. Okay. So npm run expect. Munir, sir, guess me. Where am I from? By your username, I'm gonna guess somewhere in the Middle East. But I could be wrong. I have done subscribe you, sir. I appreciate that, Munir. Appreciate you. No pressure to subscribe, but I appreciate you subscribing. Okay. Let's try this again. There we go. Okay. We should just get... We basically should be right where we were, like, 15 minutes ago. Username. Oh. I broke something. There we go. Yep, that's what we're looking for. Okay. So I just need to make that one update so that I can return the total number of pages as a part of this. Because right now the total number of pages is just showing a 0. But it should actually be the total. But we'll do that. I'll have to do that another time. Okay, shut this down. Let's git and git commit. Work on returning records in meaningful shape. Munir, I'm from India, sir. Okay, cool. So I was close. Munir, where are you from, sir? I'm in Kansas. I'm in the United States. Nikki, do you use control left or right arrow to navigate through your code? It's much faster. I usually just use like I use JK. I try not to use the arrows because that's anti-Vim, right? To use the arrows. So I usually just use J and K to go up and down. What's the L and H, right? L and H to move left and right. Control plus left. That doesn't seem to do anything for me. Control plus left. Oh yeah, so to jump words, that's where I use W and I use B, which I think are default Vim key maps to jump from word. Let's see. B jumps backwards, W jumps forwards. And then to jump to the end of the line, I use shift $, and to jump to the beginning of the line, I use shift caret. That's yeah, that's what I use. All right, guys. Well, I got to get back to it, but I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. If this is your first time here, I appreciate you. If you guys want to hang out with me or any of the other people in the chat, we do have a Discord. If you go to my channel links, you'll find the Discord invite there. You're welcome to join there. But I'll probably be back again tomorrow. And until then, I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye, y'all.